Hey guys, this is Jesse. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to show you how I made $60,000 in less than 60 days. And not only that, I'm going to throw in a little bonus here on how my buddy David made $45,000 in less than 40 days using the TCPA. Now listen, we're all getting those annoying phone calls, text messages, etc. And I try to tell people that this is not unusual. And I'm going to show you how not unusual it is. I'm going to grab you some statistics here so you can kind of get an idea of exactly what's going on. Facts are 97% of adults have a cell phone. 58% of Americans have smartphones. 2.27 trillion text messages were sent in 13 and 12.4 billion calls were made every day using cell phones. Now, you think it's all about debt collection? It's not. Papa John's, $16.5 million last year for sending texts. Best Buy, $4.5 million for unsolicited automated phone calls to their customers' cell phone. Capital One, biggest one in history. There's the link. By the way, if you have a Capital One issue and they've called you, go there, get in there. $75 million settlement. And the best part of this, guys, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act has nothing to do with that at all. Papa John, Best Buy, Capital One, those are just people. Companies that are out there. They're credit card issuers. The other two have nothing to do with that, and yet they're getting hammered. So with that being said, I'm hoping that you guys can understand how the members of What Lies in Your Debt are making a ton of money from the idiots attempting to collect them from those who are not. Again, our buddy Dave collected 45 grand not too long ago, sent me his testimonial. He says, thank you so much, What Lies in Your Debt. You guys are the best. Your system really opened my eyes to all the laws designed to protect me, the consumer, against debt collectors, such as the ones that were calling me and sending me letters when they were actively breaking the law that were designed to protect me, the consumer. Happens all the time, guys. Over the years, your system has helped me collect roughly $70,000 since I discovered your website. Keep up the great work. I look forward to cashing my next check, guys. 70 G's. 49 bucks a month for the website, 70 G's. Think about it as a union membership due. Think about it as not drinking 10 coffees a month. 70 G's, guys. Anyway, I hope you're getting the picture. They violate, you call them out, you get paid. It really does work that way, and the proof is always in the checks. I like to use this as a great example. How long does it take an average person in America to make $45,000? The average American doesn't make $45,000, but we'll calculate it anyways. So if you worked a normal 8-hour day on every weekday and didn't work any overtime on the weekends, you would have worked a total of 2,088 hours over the 2014 year to make $45,000, and your hourly rate would be $21.55. How many people do you know that make $21.55? Not very many. Those are high-paying jobs. They're hard to come by. So the average American doesn't even make 45 grand a year. And you know what the difference is, people? Dave owns his time, while most of you owe your time to someone else. That's the difference. Ask yourself how many unwanted calls and texts come to your cell phone every day, every week, every month. Then ask yourself, how much money could this equate to? How could that change your life? Think about that. How can that change your life when you think about it? Okay, we all get them. It is what it is. I told you guys I was going to show you how I did it. Here's June 5th. Respect to the above set reference matter, enclosed check number and the amount of $60,000 settlement payment, together with fully executed copy of the settlement agreement for your records. Let me show you the check, guys. This put a real change in my year. I can promise you, and I don't think anybody here can tell me that $60,000 wouldn't change your life for the better. Here's Dave's check. He just got it August, I believe, the 12th. There it is, $45,000. Okay, that is pretty damn good. You got to look at it as cash flow that you're passing up, whether it's 1 call, 2 calls, 5 calls a month. Each call can be worth anywhere from $500 to $1,500, but if you live in Maine, it could be worth $20,000. If you live in Kansas, it could be worth $10,000. Depends where you live. If it's a debt collector who happens to call and blow up your phone, and you've never given them permission to call you guys, that phone call is worth a minimum of $1,500 to a maximum of $2,500 per call. So do me a favor, look at your cell phones right now. Pick them up, look at them, and wonder, who is that? Who texted me? How many of these do I get on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? And then add it up at $500 per call. And I can almost guarantee you it's more money than you make working all month long. It's that simple. I got a call yesterday offering me some credit card junk. That call is going to cost them $2,500 because I'm on the national do not call list, and it was an automated phone message, so it's a violation of the TCPA. So I made $2,500 this week if I stay in bed 7 days a week and don't do anything. Can you say that? Guys, I'm telling you, our members are absolutely killing it. So, how do I go ahead and get this done? First things first, you got to remember the TCPA is a very peculiar statute. And the way it works is this. TCPA clearly says that if they call your cell phone and it's not for an emergency purpose, and it's not without consent, meaning you gave them permission or you gave them the phone number, it's a violation of the law. It's that simple. It's so easy to understand. It's unbelievable. And the way I do it is this. I turn around. Let me show you how I do this. I told you I would, and I'm gonna. I go ahead and I write a verified complaint. John Doe versus the debt collector here in the Middle District of Orlando, Florida. And of course, this one happened to be a debt collector that violated the law. So here's your example. You state out debt collector, FDCPA, the Florida consumer, which is the equivalent to the federal FDCPA, and the Telephone Consumer Act. Preliminary. What do you want? It's just this complaint. Now you can have it. You can have this complaint, write it up, get it all typed out, put it in with your notice of intent to sue, drop it in the mail to them, certified mail. Generally, their attorneys are going to call you, try to sandbag you. Oh, we'll give you $3,000, or oh, you don't have a case, or normal nonsense. At the end of the day, you go unwavered. In this particular case, I always tell them, see, the plaintiff, which was me, is not given express or implied consent. Okay, so you do your jurisdiction, your parties, your factual allegations, what happened, and then you start listing them out. So on July 19th at 12:39, 2 minutes later, defendant called me, July 22nd at 12:50. That's why it's important that you memorialize all your calls. You got to keep logs of them, okay? Either keep a notepad by your phone or take your screenshots if you have a smartphone. And there's no hurry, guys. If you get one call, don't sue. Wait, just wait, because each call adds up. You can wait. I have friends of mine that have 100 plus calls. I have another friend of mine that has 200 plus calls. Times $1,000. You just think about that. Okay, a lot of money. Anyway, you can see all the times they happen to call me here. Okay, so once I have my complaint ready, okay, and I get ready to go ahead and file this thing, it's filed. Well, guess what? This one I had to file because they're going to fight you a little bit. It was a lot of money, 60 G's, right? So I just immediately put in my first set of admissions, which is basically nothing but, hey, admit or deny that. Okay? Simple questions. Admit that the plaintiff has no contract. Admit that you have called the plaintiff. Admit that the plaintiff never gave the defendant any cellular number. Admit that the defendant uses an auto dialer. Admit that you called the plaintiff while being fully aware the plaintiff was represented by counsel. Admit defendant has no evidence the plaintiff owes anything. Admit that you have provided evidence that you have called prior to the filing of this complaint. It's a trick question. I'll explain that in a minute. Admit plaintiff has no debt in connection with you. See, it's the same question worded differently, right? I've sued them 3 times before. Admit the defendant had settled 3 prior cases for the very same violations. Admit that you have called the plaintiffs on multiple occasions without express or implied consent. Goes on. Okay, it's just simple 13 questions. Okay, it's so simple that I don't want to overcomplicate this. Well, of course, they're going to come back, play with you. They got 30 days to answer this. And as soon as the 31st day came, and this was sitting in my mailbox, I turned around and I thought, those aren't good enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and call the attorney and tell the attorney that I have some issues with the way he responded to those. And I'm going to do a motion to compel. And he says a motion to compel. And a motion to compel is basically, I'm going to tell the court that you have not cooperated and that you're telling me that there's a lot of privileged items that you cannot give me. And there's something out there. It's a very little known trick. Not even the attorneys use this. It's a motion for in-camera inspection of documents. Because most people don't understand that if attorney tells you that's a client relationship, right? And they're going to use the nonsense and say that they have privileged information that can't be given. By law, the attorney has to maintain a privilege log. Every time something's privileged, he's got to write it down in case this happens. So my motion is very, very simple. Requested relief, 2 paragraphs. Request the debt collector be ordered to provide immediate copies of the information requested by the plaintiff. Request for production, or the plaintiff requests that the debt collector be ordered to immediately provide logs for the remaining documents that it has withheld under claim of privileged. Can I tell you that a week later I was depositing this check because I knew they had lied to me, and they knew if I did what I did, they were going to get caught. And the judge would have nothing of it, probably sanction them, which means they're going to basically fine them, guys. So this little motion that I keep the members know works like fairy dust in essence. So, of course, we asked them to produce certain things and admissions, and that was it. Guys, there's no secret to getting these kind of checks. None at all. Zero. And if you're not getting them and you're not a member of What Lies in Your Debt, shame on you, because that should put a ton of money in for you and your family. And a lot of you that get on our calls every week are crying about money. We've given you a solution. Here it is, no charge. Of course, this little webinar is no excuse and definitely not a replacement for What Lies in Your Debt's website. So we encourage you to join, guys. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. $49 a month, guys. 60-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. And if I can proudly say, go search out the internet and try to find a single negative comment on us. You won't. God bless you guys. See you on the inside. Quit throwing your money away in that phone. Turn that phone into the ATM machine that it really is. Take care.